Okay, so you want to own a marina. You picture the docks full all summer, a wait list paying deposits forever. You picture fuel margins sliding quietly into your pocket every sunny weekend. That's the picture. It's not a bad picture for a first pass. Here's the problem. Even a modest dredging cycle can hit $300,000 before you open again. A marina is not really a slip rental business. It is a utility and yard services business. Understand that, and the money and the leaks start making painful sense. So let's build one from nothing and see where it breaks. Your money goes out first, before the first boat ever ties up. Miss the early steps, and the season arrives with your gate still locked. Will the docks pay? Or do utilities and service secretly carry everything? We'll hold that question until the end, because it decides survival. First, you have to buy or lease the waterfront itself. Sounds simple. Here's where the headline price hides landmines. You're staring at a 100 slip listing asking between $3 million and $8 million. The slips average 32 feet. Mostly powerboats, a few small sailboats. But the price is really buying riparian rights and entitlements, not lumber. Sometimes it's fee simple. Sometimes a city ground lease with escalators. Brokers quote 5 to 8% cap rates, based on trailing slip income. The pro forma usually excludes dredging, seawall, and electrical liabilities. Those pedestals? 20 years old and flirting with modern code requirements. Lenders often want 25 to 35% down at 6 to 9%. Expect 2 to 4% closing costs stacked onto your down payment. You'll fund bathymetry and condition surveys before any lender says yes. Insurance binders for property and liability commonly quote 70 to 200,000. The headline price is only step 1. Reserves decide whether you drown. Assume the glossy listing photo is as is, not turnkey ready. You might have 90 days until season. Spending decisions happen immediately. Sounds great. Here's the catch. You own it, but you can't open without some unglamorous fixes. The pilings look fine from shore. Up close, marine borers ate them. Replacing waterlogged float foam can run 10 to 40,000. Seawall deflection isn't cosmetic. It's physics waiting for the wrong tide. Your fuel dock triggers environmental plans, inspections, and absorbent stockpiles. The pump out? The part almost nobody budgets for correctly sits right here. Hidden cost 1 is dredge mobilization and disposal permitting nobody mentions. Permitting alone can eat 90 to 180 precious calendar days. Fire systems and hydrant flow tests show up with invoice books attached. Your electrical one line gets reviewed against modern marina code sections. If you add a travel lift, the price range stings hard. The clock is running while every vendor waits on someone else. Miss June, and your cash cushion evaporates faster than diesel. Collecting slip deposits early sounds smart, until delays force refunds. Here's where the obvious mental model starts to break down. You need one respected dockmaster who can actually run water traffic. You'll hire seasonal dockhands who can tie cleats fast and smile. If you add service, one certified mechanic anchors your whole reputation. Bad weather shifts require someone who'll walk docks at midnight. Again, dockmasters often cost 55 to 85,000 plus benefits. Seasonal dockhands run 15 to 22 per hour, market dependent. Marine labor bills at 110 to 165 hourly. Add 15 to 25% payroll burden for taxes and insurance. Everyone touching fuel needs real safety training, not a quick talk. Coverage is heaviest when everyone else wants weekends off for boating. You'll expect part-timers to carry it. Actually, the core crew matters. You will cover shifts yourself whenever the weather turns ugly. Random hires fail. This environment punishes inexperience quickly and expensively. Culture is safety plus trust. Without it, revenue simply cancels itself, which would have been fine, except the real margin shows up elsewhere. Here's the turn most people miss. Summer is busy. Winter is profitable. Winter storage at 40 to 100 per foot stacks quietly. Haul and block fees add 35 to 75. Plus 10 to 20. Winterization bundles labor at strong rates with predictable parts. Your invoices fatten between November and February while docks sit empty. Fuel margins? 30 to 80 cents a gallon when boats actually move. Dry stack subscriptions at 15 to 30 per foot per month help. Slip rent covers overhead. Winter yard and service produce gross margin. So the mental model summer equals profit fails the math test. A marina is not really a slip rental business. It is a utility and yard services business. Once you see it, the pricing power shifts into the cold months. Transient rates look juicy. Utilization risk makes them fickle and weather-tied. Winter contracts renew predictably. Storms rarely cancel your storage revenue. Subscriptions lock value. Spot sales leak value whenever wind or fuel spike. So let's slow down and actually do the math. Your revenue stack is layered, and the layers pay very differently. Annual slips typically run 12 to 40 per foot per month. Transient nights bring 2 to 6 per foot per night. weather allowing. Fuel moves volume. Margins of 30 to 80 cents pile slowly. Dry stack subscriptions bill monthly and charge more for tall boats. Winter storage bundles space with guaranteed service opportunities right after. Service yields strong labor plus parts margin. Scheduling fills your winter. Food concessions can pay base rent plus percentage, but distract easily. Charter slips often deliver a dockage premium or a referral percentage. Chandlery margins look fine on paper. Shrink and slow turns bite. Laundry, ice, and parking are small lines that add up. Utilities can be separately metered or recovered in the slip rate. Partner specialists expand services without payroll if contracts are tight. You'll still love a busy July, but subscriptions shield your February. That's the good news. Here's the volatility that comes right after it. Costs do not spike once. They stack. Again and again, quietly. Insurance can jump 30% after a regional storm season. Electrical code changes force nuisance trips. Angry customers, expensive replacements. Hidden cost too is shore power pedestals and feeders people under budget badly. Demand charges and summer load spikes turn meters into surprise bills. Even small consumables multiply across 100 connections and cycles. Disposal site tipping runs 20 to 60 per cubic yard. Reassessment after purchase can lift property taxes 5 to 15%. Deck boards rot quietly. 60 this month becomes 100 next. Customers expect Wi-Fi like hotels. You'll pay for upgrades. Tides steal depth each season. Your schedule bends to dredge windows. Compliance gear expires and must be replaced on calendar, not usage. Storm warnings shut fuel and transients exactly when you hoped otherwise. Smart operators reserve 3 to 6% of revenue for capital. So far, so good. Now let's talk about what can go wrong. In October 2012, Hurricane Sandy wrecked marinas along New Jersey's bays. Several facilities reported near-total dock loss and months without operations. Morgan Marina in Sayreville, among others, faced devastating storm damage. Rebuilding meant permits, design, funding, and years of staged construction. Insurance covered some. Exclusions and deductibles left painful uncovered infrastructure. Boaters scattered. Some never returned, switching to undamaged competitors. Debt service didn't pause. Revenue did, and reserves decided survival. Operators with inland storage partners recovered faster by shifting boats. The lesson is structural. Plans and partners beat optimism under pressure. Relying on insurance alone is not a business model. Fuel contamination during floods turns pumps into liabilities instantly. Seawall and panel failures ran into hundreds of thousands quickly. Survivors rewrote playbooks, pre-rigged lines, and photographed everything ahead, which would have been fine, except your math decides everything next. Let's build conservative math and see what survives first contact. Slip revenue. 100 slips times 32 times 20 equals $64,000 monthly. Annually, that's about $768,000 in slip rent. Transient. 20 slips, 30 nights, $4 per foot nightly. That adds roughly $76,800 for a strong month. Winter storage. 100 boats at 30 feet times $70. That's $210,000 for the winter storage season. Add winterization at $300 per boat across those 100. That's $30,000 more before any upsell repairs. Fixeds. Payroll $350 to $500. Insurance $70 to $200. Maintenance $120 to $250. Debt service on $6 million at 7% runs $420 to $520. Utilities are partly recoverable. Assume 60 to 90% pass-through. Total revenue lands between 1.1 and 1.4 million. Good year shows 150 to 300. Bad year hovers near break-even. Close, but watch what moves first when things wobble a little. Read that again. Then let's answer the thesis and call it. So, is this really a slip business or a utilities and yard business? Slips cover your overhead. They are necessary but not sufficient. Utilities frame the offering. Service and storage actually create excess cash. Subscriptions in winter give margin and predictability when docks are quiet. It was never really about packed summer weekends equaling profit. It's about building subscribed, cold month work that funds warm month risk. You survive by reserving 3 to 6% and scheduling wisely. You keep customers by empowering your dockmaster and mechanic to say yes. You endure storms because you drilled, photographed, and pre-rigged lines. You avoid distractions. Concessions pay rent without stealing your focus. You buy right or you walk. Sentiment doesn't pay debt. Remember, a marina that looks busy may still be losing margin. A marina is not really a slip rental business. It is a utility and yard services business. It was never really about summer dock photos and long wait lists. It's about cold month subscriptions and utilities that pay year-round. Subscribe for the next build.